In Degaon, 30 kilometers away from the Khanapur, and then taking almost U-turn, enter Goa. So there is one story, myths among the people of this area, Gawali. You know, there were scholars who believe that the river also originates in Gawali, because in Gawali you will find the temple of the Brahmani Maya, and Brahmani Maya temple is standing, and downward from the foothill, from the feet of the Brahmani Maya, the spring originates, and people call this as the origin of the river. But it is one of the tributary of river Mahadai. So it is the Gawali tributary. So there it is worshipped and temple is built and river is respected by the villagers. So then this river joins the main Mahadai and flows in the direction of Goa. So instead of why this river not joined to Malaprabha, because you know the Malaprabha river originates in Karnataka. So there is one place called Kankumbi. Earlier this Kanakumbi, Kanak means bamboo. It was full of the bamboo and it was receiving one of the highest rainfall in southern part of India. So today, even today, you know, Amgaon is a place which also surpass Agumbe. So it for 2 or 3 occasions it received the highest rainfall in the southern India. So Kankumbi earlier was receiving the highest rainfall, and that is why there is one temple called Rameshwar temple. So from the one roof, the water flows down and become the source of the Malaprabha, and Malaprabha flows down and passes through the Khanapur and to the several places of the northern part of India, northern part of Karnataka, goes to Saudatti, where you know the Naval Tirtha reservoir is there. So this river, Malaprabha, right from origin till almost for 20 kilometers, the river is called as a goddess and worshipped as a sacred entity. So people, the devotees throng in a big number to take bath deep into this water, and you will find many temples situated on this bank. And if you go to, there are World Heritage sites on the bank of the this river. If you go to northern part of the Karnataka, you will find many temples and World Heritage sites situated like Badami, Patadakal, Ayuval. So all these areas you will see the temples. So this river gained the status of the holy river. So that is why there is a belief and story among the local, and they say Mahadai is the Jatichi Mang. So she was born as an untouchable, and that is why she was cursed. You go in the direction of the rocky area. So that is why she was not allowed to mingle with the Malaprabha, and then that is why the river take U-turn and comes in the direction of Goa, and that is why you can see this Vajrapaya waterfall, beautiful waterfall. Today it is inside the Bhimgad Wildlife Sanctuary. Barazan, beautiful waterfall on Kalsa. In Kankumbi, the water of one roof become Malaprabha, and the water of the another roof become the source of the Kalsa, and then Kalsa flows down, and then you can see this Barazan waterfall. Why this waterfall got the name Barazan? Because there is one mythological story among the people. This side is the Parwad village and other side is the Goa, border of Goa, and Sulla village. So it is the village which is situated at the height of 812 meters above the sea levels, and there Parwad. So during the Holi festival, there was a tradition to go into the sacred grove and cut one or two trees. That trees trunk are brought and made to stand erect in front of the temple as a holy. So the elders along with the youth were going in the direction of sacred groves. So at this juncture, the elder told them, you go and bring a small holy, the trunk of the tree, for Rakhnechu Holi. Got it? No? So there are two holies in village. One is for the main god and another is for those who, because during olden time, cattle was the wealth, and those who were domesticating cattle, Rakhne, they were given also importance. So they were asked to bring the holy for the Rakhne, so which they did not like. So instead of going to bring a small holy, they came straight away. They become very angry and they came and told that they jump into this water and died, and that is why people started calling this waterfall as a Barajan, so waterfall. So beautiful waterfall. Next, Mahadai Wildlife Sanctuary is one side, and this side is the reserve forest of the Karnataka. Then the river comes to Krishnapur. Now, Krishnapur, if you visit, you will find very surprising, because this is a new village. Original village was a Kedil village, and that is why the Ghatway during olden time was called as a Kedil Ghat. So there is a village called Kedil, which is today totally deserted, and now people think that the Krishnapur is one of the important village. So Krishnapur was one of the hamlet of the Kedil village, and this Kedil village was important during the medieval period because the Ghatway was passing, the Kedil Ghat was passing. So Goa was connected to the different areas. For example, if you goes in the direction of Uge, you will find a Digi Ghat there. If you come to Keri, you will find the Chorla Ghat. If you come to Kulwa River or Tiwari River, you will find the famous historic Ram Ghat. So all these ghatways were coming to Goa, because Goa during olden time was a trading center, port was there, and if you go to Chopade, on the bank of the Kulwa River, situated the temple of the Betal, and just go there and listen carefully the invocation Garani. They says, the local priest says, 24 Bandrancho Maharaja to Swami, you are the lord of the 24 ports. So where are these 24 ports you have to see in the Goa? So opposite to this Chopade is a Persian, the village having the Persian connotation, Hanjaman, Hanjuna. Hanjaman means the trading guild. So why the people from various part of the world coming to this area, we have to look into it, and that will going to provide you the history of the Kolwa River, which is in upper region, where it starts in Kolhapur district, in Chandigarh village, in the Tudiye. The river, people call it as Tilottama. When it flows down in the Ramghat, people, the three rivulets join together, so people call it Tirai. And when this Tirai comes to Ibrahimpur, Maneri, people call it as a Kolwa River. And this river finally joins Arabian Sea. People call this as a, by the another name. So interesting about the river. So the river comes from Krishnapur in Goa, in a village called Kadwal. So in Kadwal, flowing from Kadwal, the another tributaries which I have shown to a Barajan waterfall, Kalsa River, comes and joins at Dusgir and then flows down, and then you can see this rocky structure. People call it as a Movacho Guno. This is in a Karanjol village. one side is Sonal and another side is Karanjol. Both these villages are rich in mineral resources. So Karanjol, if you go, you can drink the water in Karanjol. And this side Sonal, may because of the gold deposits might be there. So that is why the village got the name Sonal, and there are almost 5 to 7 mining leases are there in Sonal village, and also in Karanjol village mining leases are there. So in this Karanjol, the Mahachaguno boulders that are standing on the bank of this river Mahadai, people have numerous myths because there is one natural cave. So people believe that Holy Spirit reside there, and only the villagers of the Karanjol have the right to collect the natural honey. You know, every after 7 years, after the completion of the 7 year, during 8th year, you can see the blossom of the garlic. And then the honey bees got the message and they collect the honey and bring it and they make the honeycombs. So these honeycombs only should be removed by taking the permission of this unseen Holy Spirit, and then they can distribute among the village. So this was the tradition among the villagers. So this Mahachaguno became historic, but for last 30 years, you know, almost more than 25 people died at this spot. So there are numerous stories. Because if you just go 1 kilometer, you will find Mishalchi Kond. There is one Holy Spirit there, Mishalo. Then Mahabalachi Kond. And all these areas where, you know, during 25 years ago, where the areas where traditional seed-based cultivation was done. So at this place, Dipaji Rani, the valiant fighter, Dipaji Rana, Mahashura Thora, Radvi Firingasa Fara. There is one eulogy composed on the Dipaji Rani. So Dipaji Rani on 26 January 1852 captured the fort of the Nanus and unfurled his flag. So when you know, the Nanus fort was captured by him, immediately the Portuguese sent the soldiers with their commander in Sattari, and there is a story that Dipaji Rani realized he was having only 2-3 soldiers with him, and he took the shelter at Mahachaguno. So when Joseph Hassan Ferrer made the attempt to cross the river at this time, you can see 2 stones were thrown on the honeycombs, and honey bees done the wonderful job. They attacked the Portuguese soldiers. So Portuguese soldier could not capture Dipaji Rani. So you will find just 2 years ago, one Mori from that area became the victim of the honeybees because somebody thrown under the influence of the alcohol one stone on the honeycombs, and honeybees attacked him and also villagers. So all were running in the village, and he died in the Mahachaguno area. So this is the Mahachaguno area. So because of the death of almost 30 to 20 people, the place, this beautiful natural spot became sort of a depression, fear for the people. The mahasir fish in India, you know, mahasirs are very tasty fish, very size of a human being, one. So locally they are called khadas. So people call them as the khadas. So there is one story that one person from nearby village used to go to this place, and he was telling Pistea, Ek Maswadi, I'm going to a guest is there in our house, please give me one fish. So Pisto, Holy Spirit was coming and offering him one fish. So like this, every after 2-3 days he was coming and telling Pistea, Amugela, Falakun. So he was fooling the Holy Spirit. So one day Holy Spirit got the doubt, so he came in the concealed manner and he stayed back of the house. So the wife of the person asked him the question, from where you are getting this big fish? So he told, I am going to pistachio cone and bringing this fish by filling the Holy Spirit pisto. So then next day when the person went, the pisto was not there. Instead of that, a huge stone came and fallen on the person and he died. So after that, numerous stories, belief, taboos connected with this area, and people not dare to catch the fish, use the explosive, and those who are made attempt to use explosive, they also face the wrath of it. And there are a glaring example. If you visit the Bandirwada in Kazre Ghat of Karanjol, you will get the stories about how this Holy Spirit is very powerful. So in spite of that, one day one Nandi Bailwala, so the Nandi, there is tradition in India of taking the bull, how decorated bull as the mount of the Lord Shiva. So there are Thakar and there are also tribal people from Andhra Pradesh. They are visiting Goa. So one person, Thakar, wanted to come to this side. So when he reached to the pistachio cone, he beat the drum and told the pisto, "Pistya, maka खूप धन मिळाले. So if I get more wealth, alms in Goa, when I will return, I will also perform a play, special play for you." So what is the special play? Nandi Bail, a unique type of the folk dance with the help of the bull is performed. So he said, so he went to Goa and he got, good amount of the grain, money. So bags were there, full with all bags. He was returning, and when he reached to this pistachio cone, he decided to take another route. So he decided to go in the direction of the Talewadi, Kedi. And there he went. While going, he crossed that area and then he beaten his drum loudly. "Pistya, photelo re tuka. I cheated you." So that made Pisto very furious, and it is said that a crack was developed afterward, and bull, wealth, everything got disappeared. So then the Thakar along with his drum came down, and he beaten the drum loudly and he said, "Pistya, खऱ्यानीच जर तू माझं बैल येलय जाल्यार म्हाका दाखय तीनदा." So then it is said that Pisto brought the bull up and down for 3 times and showed. Got it, no? So after that, lot of stories developed, and pistachio cone became the sacred water body. So here nobody dare to catches the fishes, all type of the fish and elements of nature, stones, everything offered protection. So this is in Bhimgad Wildlife Sanctuary, but culturally it is linked with Goa and Karnataka area. So these are all the Mahasir. Got it, no? A river for the people, just like the Ganga river is worshipped. So in Sattari, for them this is just like the goddess. So there is a Ganesh Chaturthi. In Ganesh Chaturthi festival, the mother of Ganpati, goddess Parvati, is worshipped, and afterward that Gauri Pujan is there. So during Gauri Pujan, the fresh water from the river or the well or the spring is brought, and put into pitcher. So pitcher includes, the pitcher in India, Kumbha, represent the symbol of the procreation. So that is why Kumbha worship is there. So water is put into pitcher and it is worshipped as a Gauri, and afterward the same water is put back into the river. So this is a Gauri Pujan performed by the woman community. In Pariye, if you go, you will stand there and listen to the invocation. Bhumka is considered as Sata Sattarichi Devi. So Sata Sattarichi, 16 plus 70 equal to 130 villages. So where are these 130 villages? Now if you look at Sattari, people say Sattari because of 70 villages. It is not true. There are 86 villages presently. But once upon a time there were 130 villages. Where are these 130 villages? So some villages became the part of the Maharashtra, Dodamag Taluka. Some villages became the part of the Khanapur Taluka of Belgaum district. Some villages became the part of the Uttar Kannada, and some villages became the part of the one Maulinge, for example. Earlier in 1971 they were with Sattari Taluka, and Nanus, Usgaon, these were also the part of Dharbandoda. Tamdi Sulla was also included in Sattari. So almost 130 villages were there, and this deity, actually presiding deity of Pariye, is Satir. So from Vedus Puri sodlay आणि Pariye जोडलंय. The people says, villager says, you left the Vedus village and you are now blessing the Pariye village. So in Pariye village, during the New Year celebration, the main devotee goes down into the river Thorlinai, which is also called as Valvat or Valvanti, and take the water and put into the pitcher. So river water is considered as a sacred, and this temple actually is connected to Goa, Maharashtra and Karnataka, and there are stories, of the Sapta Matruka, and one of the deity from Goa, she was actually the presiding deity of the hill of the Vageri. So this deity was residing on the top of the hill of the Vageri. So during that one day, she by mistake entered into the Konkumbi, and there was a custom where when you entered into a outside domain of the another village, you have to return back before the cock make the sound. So the goddess could not manage it. So that is why Mauli became the presiding deity of that village. And if you go to Vageri, you will find the 7 earthen pitchers are there, and you will find most of all the wild species trees are there, but people believe that no smell is there. So because the goddess Mauli went from that place to Konkumbi, so that is why you will find the Maulichi Rai there. So Mauli of Konkumbi is related with the Bhumka of Pariye. Malaprabha river originating from Konkumbi then flows down, and then you can see many pilgrimage centers on the bank of this river. So it joins at Krishna in Kudal Sangam. So this river is a holy river. So inside the Mahadai, you can see wonder of the natures are there. So limestone caves are there, and there is one story you can get inside the cultural history of Goa written by Ananta Sinai Dhume. So as per his story, the today whatever Western Ghat area in Sattari, it was covered with the ocean water. And because of this, you can see the limestone caves are there in Sattari. And there is one interesting story in Kesri village of Sawantwadi Taluka, wherein the Shetty community, mostly from Menkuri, they migrated from Kesri. So they says that the Kesri whole village was under the water of the sea. So their deity Swayambhu Karlai Devi came there with the fish called curly. So they will not eat the curly fish. Got it, no? So Swayambhu Karlai Devi is there. In the same way, in this area also, there are hundreds of stories wherein people believe that once upon a time this whole area was under seawater, and the historian and surveyor Kantak in this area found fossils. So if you go through that books, you can find pictures of the fossils in those areas. So these are the limestone caves most probably used by the prehistoric man. So these are all limestone creation of the Akri and Kokri. So Akri and Kokri has the downward has the cave where you can see the Thaposite Cubaldi beds. It is the only third site in the whole of Indian subcontinent, including Nepal, Pakistan, third place in this area. So Thaposite Cubaldi beds are there, and just few kilometers away is the Talewadi, where the only known site of the rotten frittle beds. There are 12 caves. Among one cave is a cave that houses the rotten frittle beds are there. So this Krishnapur stone appear like the Lord Krishna. So that is why the village got the name Krishnapur. So Bhimgad is there. So Bhimgad was a Pargana, Mughal Pargana. During the Mughal period, it was the headquarter right from Kuda to Pernem Taluka, Sattari Taluka, Bicholi, all these areas were under the Bhimgad Pargana. So Bhimgad was an important area, and the first editor of the Vivid Nyan Vistar was a Goan person, Kenkare, who migrated to the Gunji, Rana Gunjikar, and then afterward Gunji lost its trade and commerce importance. Then he shifted to Zamboti. So Zamboti during that time, just 200 years ago, was another important center for the trade and commerce. So if you move in this direction, there are hundreds of stories regarding all this forest. The prehistoric man, from where the prehistoric man came to Goa? There are scholars who says that they came from the Ghataprabha, Malaprabha, and Dharwad ASI. They got the stone tools and implements in there are 12 caves, Barapeda in Talewadi. So in one of the cave, they got the evidences of the stone tool used by the prehistoric man. So most probably from Malaprabha or Ghataprabha basin, the prehistoric man entered Goa, and in Sattari Taluka, in Maushi village, you can see this Pandavachi Chitra. People call it as the Pandavachi Chitra, but you can see the granite stone is there, and Zebu, the wild bull, is there. Then cupules are there. Then almost 20 carvings are there. And also on the bank of the Kushavati, the Kushavati originates in Sange Taluka, in the village called Nunde. So there is one hill called Nasa Dongar. So in Nasa Dongar the river originates, and then one river comes in the direction of the Kepe Taluka, Rivon, Sange Taluka, and people call it the Kushavati. And another river goes to Kankon side, people call it Iravati, Baman Budowazar, and it joins the Talpan river. So on the bank of the Kushavati, you can see 100 rock carvings are there. So earlier people used to call it as the Rakhnachi Chitra. So this Rakhnachi, the peacock is there. Then you can see the zebus are there. Different animals are, almost more than 100 rock carvings are there. So all this showcases us the archaeological history of the prehistoric man. Then you can see the Dhirio the Jiryos are most popular in Goa, but also the prehistoric man naturally saw the bullfight, and then he, with the bruising techniques, he etched on the boulders the rock carvings. The unique type of the silt-based cultivation called Prudent. So, if you visit this area now, you will not going to see any more Puranshiti. When we want development, we have to sacrifice so many things. So because of the Vasanta Bandaras, almost 36 Bandaras were built. So because of the increase in the water level, killed all this traditional silt-based cultivation. Inside the flowing river, you can see this agriculture was done. So people start during the month of the December, and by end of the summer, people get the rice ready for harvest. So this Puran Sheti tradition was there almost in the 27 villages of Sattari. Now not a single village could do the Puran Sheti. So there are stories, there are myths related with different type of the kharadi in this area. So on the bank of the rivers, you can see in Madai there is one, in Bhironda there is one hamlet called Madai. So this is in the Madai, the river is very big river. Both side, other side is a Guleli and this side is a Bhironda village. And you have to cross the river, so that is why there is need to use the country canals. So this country canals were, there were local people, and there was one Rajgo. So middle is the temple, shrine of the Rajgo. So you will find Rajgo is the untouchable, and his shrine is built by the Brahmin. So this unique type of the things you can see in Khadki. So he was helping the people to cross the Khadki area and goes to the Masode area, Walpo area. So during the revolt, the last revolt, he from other side he was bringing the alcohol. So one day the Rani of the Khadki, every day he was taking the alcohol brought by him. So one day he found, before drinking that alcohol, he was giving it to the dog. So the dog died. So that is why he suspected, and he killed. He told Rajgo to be ready for facing the punishment. So he put the Patkonecha Fulanchi Mal, Aizora, flowers of the Aizora garland was made. So most of the times for human sacrifice or for animal sacrifice, there is traditions of putting the birds of these Aizora birds. So it was put by him, and he was killed. So his head was fallen in the hamlet called Shir, and his other part was fallen into Dada Savaddi. It is said. So all these are unrealistic stories, but you will find almost 2-3 shrines of one untouchables built in this area. So he was helping the people to cross the river. So there are also people who believe that he took part into the revolt of Rani. So that is why Portuguese also punished him. So there are numerous stories. So inside the river you can see the springs are there. On the bank of the river you can see the people paddy dehusking is done. Patama namana ganapate, magala namala saraswati. So there is one beautiful folk drama tradition in Sattari, mostly in Kolhapur, Sindhudurga, Belagavi and Uttar Kannada. These 4 districts you can see, you can witness the Ranmale performance. So this Ranmale, how the folk drama is called Ranmale. So there are stories that Ranmale mean battle was there between aboriginal people and the newcomers, and they killed the original settlers. So how they killed? So the performance of the Ranamale drama was organized. Next slide. And they were killed when they were under the influence of the alcohols. So when you do something crime, you have to always ready to take the punishment. So in सत्तरी चोरशे चोरूक गेले आंबियाच्या बनी त्यांचा साजना झाला. चोरशे चोरूक गेले केगदीच्या बनी त्यांचा साजना झाला. So if you listen carefully the songs of stories of the Ranmale, you will find a reference of the Aboriginal community. But also here in Germany, if you go, you will find that the youth from Ponda who want to cross this ghat way, they by mistake came to Zarme village, and the people, the villager by mistake killed them. So innocent people were killed. So that is why it is said that we have done the crime. So to pacify their spirit, 8 pits are dug, and then the Choranchi Purni or Chorancho Utsav is celebrated in the 2 villages, one in the Zarme and second in the Karandro. Both these villages are situated on the way going to, one is going to the Kerkar and another is Chorla Ghat, connecting to the Chorla Ghat. So during the, it was situated on the border of the 2 countries. One was British India and second was Portuguese India. So there was a lot of smuggling and also thieves were there in those areas. So that is why Chorla Ghat is there, Chorvishi Nadi is there, Choraune is there. So all these names tells you and takes you to the different myths. This is the one beautiful temple situated on the bank of the another tributary of river Mandavi called Ragado. It originates in Karnataka in Kai Tiger Reserve and then comes down. You can see the waterfall of the Vajra Sakla. Then there is a Deva Sakaucho Vajra is there. And then suddenly inside the jungle you can see the temple built by using only one stone, monolithic stone. So 800-year-old Kadamba temple. Why this temple here? So there is one story that backside of this temple there is a village called Keri, and in Keri or Taide village you will find people calling the areas Ranichi Pass. Ranichi Pass means the queen used to come by the horses to take darshan of Mahadev. So who is this queen? So if you go by following this pathway now inside the jungle, one side is a Tamdi Sulla. Tamdi Sulla today got the name Tamdi Sulla. It is the name of one hamlet. Earlier it was a cluster of 12 hamlets, and that is why here you can say that Bara Bhumka Devi is there. So Mahatkand, Boriale, Taide, Bottar, all these 12 villages were there. So Maratha people came from the Deccan, they came with the horses, came with the swords, and that is why you can see the tradition of Ghodemani is there. And they killed the Aboriginal people. And they killed these Aboriginal people might be during the period of the Kadamba, because the Shiva Chitta Permadi Dev assumed the title Malav Hari. So who are these Malavas? So there is possibility that there might be the republic of the Malavas functioning in this area. In Sattari Taluka, you can see there is a system of Barazan, 12 stones are there. So all this megalithic culture, so many things are there. So, but in Sattari Taluka, everywhere during Shigmo festival, there is celebration of Chorotsav is there. So here you only in 2 villages you can say Choranchi Purni. So there are stories there. We killed the Aboriginal people. So, and here we have the title used by Kadamba ruler Shivachitta Permadidev as a Malavahari. So according to Dr. G.M. Morash, if you read Kadamba Kula book, in that he has given the meaning of the Malavahari. means the slayer of the Malavas. So Malavas might be the Hebbar, got it, no? So that is why you have the Hemmad, Hebbar. So in my area, my grandmother used to tell me when I was not eating properly, no? She used to say, "Kai khata Hebbar kaso?" Got it, no? So you can see the saying also takes you to this history. So Hebbar, Hemmad, and that is why you have Tamdi Sulla during olden time was known as Hemmad Barshi. If you go just cross the Kerkar, you reach in the place called Hemmadaga. And there are, if you go to Netravali, in Netravali Verle village is there, and inside the sacred grove you will find Saptalingeshwar. So this Saptalingeshwar, you will find, villages like Kudne, villages like Sakali, villages like Bicholi, but these villages are in Karnataka. So, but at the foothill of the Dighi Ghat, you will find a temple in Siddheshwar complex of Kadamba ruler Hemmad Dev. So he is locally called as Hemmad Dev, and the border of the Hemmad Barshe ends there. And then the new taluka called Ashtagar, which is today called as the Sange taluka. So there the ruler is worshipped, and in Goa we call the our friend Dr. Prajal Sakadande called always the golden era of the Kadamba rule during the period of the Shivachitta Permadi Dev. So Hemmad Dev is worshipped there, and this is the temple built by Shivachitta Permadi Dev on the request of his favorite queen Kamla Devi, and Kamla Devi was coming, so I tracked the whole area right from Kai Tiger Reserve. There is a village called Viranzol. From Viranzol you come straight away to Taide. So at this point you can come. Karanzol and Viranzol, both these villages are opposite to each other. So Viranzol, if you want to go, you have to go to Kai Tiger Reserve. Entering into the forest, you can come to this area. So this is Ranichi Pass, and backside you will find the megalithic culture. Stones are there. The stones are, as per some historian, their stone tells you history of almost 50,000 years ago, and might be the tombstone or the memory. So Pavre Siddha. So there is one saying in Sattari, Pavra Siddha. Siddhas were the Nath Panthis. So Nath Panthis were strong in Goa, and in Tiswadi Taluka there was a monastery of the Gorakshanath. The Uttar Pradesh is famous for Gorakhpur. So Gorakshanath is believed to come to this area, and in Goa, in biggest village of Bicholim Taluka, Latambarche, there is one out of 7 hamlet, one village is there, one hamlet is there, Vadaval. So in Vadaval you can see the biggest shivling of Goa region there. So it is said that in Vadaval the Matsyendranath visited the area. So there is a Siddha shrine is there, and there are numerous in Sattari Taluka, in Karanjol, in Sonal, in Dabos, you will find the rock cut caves are there. So next, Dr. Githali Mittal Walner presented a detailed research paper in 1975 about all this. So there is need to connect all this information and tells about how the myths can give you the birth of the rich lost history of this land. And Dr. Vitthal Mitra Gotri, in his socio-cultural history of Goa, discovered and made reference about the 3 stone sculpture sitting inside the boat in Sattari Taluka. And then with our volunteers, I was able to trace 10 more, including the Nagwe, just 3 kilometers away from the Valpai, and written the paper in Australian Bulletin along with the Dr. Anvita Gaur. So all these stone sculptures are very unique. You cannot see this stone sculpture. Recently I found one hero stone, just like what is there in the Goa Museum in Vengurla village, but goddess, mother goddess, Ashtabhuja deity, Durga deity, various form of the Durga shown in the board only in Sattari Taluka, except the Ganje, which is now included in the Ponda Taluka. Earlier it was a part of the Sattari Taluka. You can see this rich tradition. So Ganje during olden time was a port, and even in Kudshe, the first slide which I have shown to you of Gajalakshmi, actually now the GTDC, after reading articles, they started in Bondir. Bondir in Persian language means the port, mini port is there. So Bondir is a small hamlet of the this Sattari Taluka, so of Karanjod. So right from Bondir to Sonar, the GTDC started the river rafting. So this tells you that during olden time also it was navigable river. And in Kudshe, I interviewed the person who was telling me that he used to carry a truckload of the wood with the help of the two bamboo. So he was standing in the middle of the heap of the wood and balancing, he was taking the wood to the Ganje. So from where most of the Sakardande family in Ambeshi, they were residing. So Ambeshi was known for the trade and commercial activities. So the woods were brought, the dried fishes, salt, Goa salt was very precious, valuable, and if you read the documents, you will find Shivaji Maharaj put more taxation on the Goan salt because it was highly demanded during those times. So this deity tells you so many things, and it will take almost more than 2 hours to tell the story of this deity. Panchaganga river. So there are numerous myths whether this earlier the fair used to hail in the land of the lamb called Deepavati. Got it, no? Then this fair was brought to the another side in the village Hindole. With the coming of the Saptakoteshwar, the village lost its name and people started calling it Saptakoteshwar. So on the bank of the Saptakoteshwar, you will find the Masan Devi temple is there, and Masan Devi story top is the Masan Devi. So by mistake, tiger killed the only one cow of the Gauda woman. So then the woman came in front of the tiger and told him, only hope of mine, only source of my income you killed. Why you are not taking my life? And she died there. And this made the tiger very unhappy. Those were the days, different days. So tiger died. Tiger committed suicide. And there you will find ant hill was developed and people worshipping this as a Masan Devi. Got it, no? And this why Masan Devi? Women during menstruation period, during the pregnancy, if they are died in Goa, they are not, their body is not cremated, buried in their village, but it is brought and given in the custody of this Masan Devi, because Masan Devi has the power to control all the unsatisfied spirit. So Masan Devi story is a very big story. And two fairs are connected. Ashtamichi Jatra, Masandevichi Jatra. You can see on this bank next time. Every after 11 years, the Kokodevachi Jatra. Kokodevachi Jatra is held. So whether it is because for honoring those people who brought the Saptakoteshwar from Narve village to this side, fair is held. Very difficult to tell, but it is the land of the civilization, Jain temple, Jain court, and so many. If you visit this area, the big the Gujarati settlement was there, Mahasa Devi. So who was this Mahasa? Jnaneshwar also make reference to the Mahasa Devi. So there is story that a pastoral community residing on the plateau of the Verna, they could not find water sources because खडकचं पाणी न डोंगरचा पाला De Dada, De Rajala Masade. So this community always lives where water is available. So there was no water. So he prayed before the goddess, and the goddess appeared before him, and she was having the anklet, and she just strike the foot down, and then the Nupur Zari originated, and you can see on the plateau appearance of the spring, and this spring is responsible for giving birth to the Sa river, and Sa river then goes to the mouth of the mouth. You find the two fort. One is of the fort of the Betul, and another is the Kolgat Kabdaram fort. The Sa river. The Sa river responsible for giving the Madgaon, Matagram, holy monastery was there. So this Sa river was having a great history and tradition. So small river, but if you go to Kareban, it was a river where salt water intrusion was making. But today we have converted river into gutter. So this is Varna Plateau, Varanyapuri or. So there are hundreds of stories. If you read Gokarna Partaga Mutt, you will find this river is referred as a Kushavati river. Got it, no? So if you read holy books of the Partaga Mutt, this is called as the Kushavati river. But Kushavati river flows in the direction of the Kepe Taluka. This is Talpan river. Because this was also a sacred river, and people during olden times were doing very varied rituals. So this river originating in the Kai Anshi area then comes down, bringing the water, and then flows down Tarpan river. There are just like the Savaiberi. The Savaiberi is Ananta brought to Savaiberi through the boat by the Muslim Pir. Here also, if you go to Lolien, you will find a very swampy area. Actually, it is one lost river called Wakadi river. So river originates at Neturliwado in Lolien, and then comes down, and it was the stories, myths that it was a navigable, and boat used to come, and one day the Keshav, the presiding deity of that village, also came through the boat. So this is Wakadi Noi, also on the verge of extinction. It is independent river, Mange Thapni, on the bank of the Zuari. Zuari is called as a Papanashini river, originating at Digi Ghat. There is one Junagadh is there. So when we refer to Junagadh, we always look at the Gujarat. But there is one Junagadh in Goa. Natural fort is there, and then the river comes down, and people call it as a Sangampur. Two rivers join together, and it flows as a Zuari. Zuari got the name because it is studded with the islands. So crocodile worship tradition is there, and very rich tradition in Goa. You also can see in Paraskade, the only temple of the crocodile deity. Among the tribal people in Tarpon, Galjibag area, Galjibag, if you go, you will find the tribal forest dweller wave communities are Akri, Pakri, Dhilla, Tuji, Chakri. And for them the river is very sacred. So in order to express their gratitude to the Kartik Swami, they make the dhillo with the clay and worship it. So this is dhillo festivals. So immersion is done in the river. So rivers is attached to them, and people always believes that Sati Asra, the seven goddesses reside there, and that is why we have the traditions of worshipping 7 stones, 5 stones next during the celebration of the Diwali. Thank you very much.
काय बरेलो बांगडो म्हाका मायन दिलेलो कोण रे मेलेन त्याचो दोळो फोडिल्लो आयलो गो कचरोवालो आयलो आगो आगो बेगीन कर तो कचरोवालो आयलो तूं आनी कितें गो मागीर म्हाज्या नांवान बोवाळ मारतलें यो बेगीन यो
धरलो
कितें
आणि तो म्हजेर बेजार जाता म्हाका लज जाता आणि आणि ह्या ओल्या कचऱ्यान प्लास्टीक पद्दी घालप
आगो पण ओलीत आसा मगो ती पळय पळय हात लावन पळय
शी 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 केन्ना अक्कल येतली रे तुका ही पळय ही भाजयेची ही नुस्त्याची आणि ही बाकीच्या सामानाची पूर्ण ना तुका जाय ती प्लास्टिकूच नागरिक म्हणून आमची किती जबाबदारी असा काय ना एकटो सरकार कायच करूंक शकना आणि कचऱ्याच्या बाबतीत तर नाच ना
म्हणजे कितें करप तर आमी
अरे कचरो कितलेशेच प्रकारचो असता 7 ते 8 प्रकार वखदांचो वेगळो कचरो काचेचो वेगळो कचरो इलेक्ट्रिकचो वेगळो कचरो तरी सरकार दोनूच सांगता वलो आणि सुको आणि तरी तुझ्याकडे ते जायना दारादारांनी कचरो व्हरपाक येऊन सुद्धा गटारांनी रस्त्याच्या कुशीक कचऱ्याचे ढिगारेच मरे आणि हो कचरो कोण करता आम्हीच मरे मागीर म्हाका सांग हातून सरकार कितें करतलो
सारकें तुजें चुकता आमचेंच
अरे सावंत सरकारान कचरो जाग्यार घालपाक कितलेशेच प्रकल्प उभे केल्यात सालिगांव कुणय पिसुल्ल्या आणि हेर जाग्यार कितलेशेच नवे प्रकल्प नेटान चालू आसात सरकार आपले काम आपले परीन पुराय जोर लावन करता पूण गरज आसा आम्ही जबाबदार जावपाची कितें
नव्या तमाचे सेरतुतराचे हे आमचे सरकार दोन सावंताच्या खाला सपना जाता साकार गोंयाचो फुल्लारे फुडार खोशिया सारे गोंयकार
आता ओल्यान ओलो आणि सुक्यान सुको
गोंयान उरलो ना कचऱ्याचो धोको आता भिवपाची गरज ना
दरेक गोंयकाराचो आधार डॉक्टर प्रमोद सावंताचें गोंय सरकार.